Hi there, Reyo owners. Today on your 2013 Reyo Motorhome, we're going to be installing Sumo Springs Solo Custom Helper Springs for the rear axle. And this is what our Sumo Springs look like when they're installed. They replace our factory jounce bumpers and sit in the exact same location. The difference between this and your factory jounce bumper is that your factory jounce bumpers don't provide any contact between your axle and the bumper itself until the suspension has traveled up far enough to contact the bumper. You can see your factory jounce bumper here and how much shorter it is than our Sumo Spring. Our Sumo Spring is always going to be in contact with our axle, and it is a softer rubber than the hard factory jounce bumper we have. What's nice about this is that as it compresses, the rubber gets harder the more it compresses, and it slowly eases you in to a jounce situation like this. But since it always has contact, you're going to be getting the benefits for the entire travel of your suspension, where the jounce bumper really only came into play once you bottomed out. So what this means for you, you're going to be getting the added benefits of the Sumo Spring throughout your entire suspension travel, which is going to help reduce sway, because you're always going to have contact on each side. So if sway does start, the springs work together to bring the vehicle back to center. It's going to help with body roll around turns, and it's going to give you a slightly better ride comfort as well, because it's going to be dampening the suspension in the back. So for you, it's going to reduce your driver fatigue and increase your comfort, but not only for you, but all of your passengers in the vehicle are going to notice how much more stable the RV feels when going down the road. This is going to lead to a more happy drive to your next destination and more energy for you and your passengers when you get there, so you won't be tossing around trying to keep yourselves upright. Some other customers on our website have compared these to Timbrens jounce bumper suspension enhancements, and they're pretty similar. The Timbrens do have a harder rubber, which could give you a rougher ride quality, but is going to give you more support. These offer up to 1,400 pounds of load carrying capacity. Now you want to keep in mind that doesn't increase your load carrying capacity, just how much it can assist to support it. Whereas Timbrens are usually much higher, typically between 5,000 and 7,500 pounds. But again, if you're looking for quality and comfort, these are going to give you a better ride quality than the Timbrens would. Your other option is airbags. Airbags are adjustable, and they're placed in a similar location. The adjustable air pressure in them will allow you to soften or stiffen up your suspension here in the back, so you can get it set to how you like it. The problem with airbags is that you do have to maintain them. As temperatures change and time goes on, your airbags are going to change pressures, and you're going to have to be monitoring those and ensuring they're at the right pressure. With the Sumo Springs here, there's no maintenance or anything required. Once you pop it up in here, you're good to go and you can forget about it. This is also a significantly easier installation than airbags. I'm going to show you that now. We'll begin our installation by removing our jounce bumpers. They'll have one on both the driver and one on the passenger side. To give you a little more room to work, I recommend that you jack up the back of your vehicle, and this will give you a larger gap between your frame and your rear axle, so you have more room to work. It'll make it easier to get your jounce bumpers removed, your factory ones, and you're also going to need this room to get your new ones installed, as they are much larger. We're on a lift, so we're using a pole jack, but a floor jack will work just fine if you're doing this at home on the ground. We're going to use some silicone spray on each side to help ease it out, as this is just a pressed in jounce bumper. And then take a pry bar, and we're just going to put it between our rear sway bar here and the jounce bumper, and we're just going to pry it right out of the socket. We'll do the same thing with the other side, and we're ready to install our new ones. Once you've got your jounce bumper removed, take your new one, you want to look at it. You'll have ears that hang off on each side of it here. We want to make sure that the one that's deeper, as you can see here, this is a longer ear, is towards the front of the vehicle when we place it in. We'll take our new jounce bumpers, we're going to put just a touch of silicone on the ears. That'll help those slide in a little easier. We'll then set it in place. You can hook it into either the rear or front hook there, whichever is easiest for you. For me, I found it easier to hook the front side first, so we're going to slide that up into the groove there until we get it all the way forward. You may need to take a hammer to help tap it forward all the way. And then on our front lip here, to get this in, you're going to need to push that in. And it is pretty strong, because you do have to bend this semi-stiff rubber here. So I recommend using a screwdriver or a pry bar and starting with one corner and just getting that up on the lip. Once you've got a small piece behind it, you can just work your way across, pushing the rest in. Sometimes it can help to grab another screwdriver or pry bar to hold it in while you're working it all the way down, getting the rest of the lip in. Again, this is a very tight fit, but it's supposed to be like this, because that's all that holds it in place, is the tight pressure of it fitting up in there. And usually once you get about half of it in there, the rest of it just pops up like it did there. And now our jounce bumper's in place. We'll repeat the same process on the other side. And with our other side in place, we're ready to hit the road. And that completes our installation of Sumo Springs Solo Custom Helper Springs for the rear axle on your 2013 Reyo Motorhome.